Hi everybody, it's time for another video. Uh, so I have at several times pined over my local comic book shop, Chops Comics in Lawrence, Kansas, that I stumbled in there out of the blue one day with kind of a dedication to get back into reading. And, it took a visit or two for me to kind of go in there on a regular basis to feel comfortable knowing what I was looking for. But the owner of the shop, Jason Springer, has been awesome 100% of the time that I've been there. And, one of the things that I learned that we both have in common is that before he opened the shop just over 2 years ago, he also was a history teacher by trade. And the more I went into the shop, the more we got to know each other, and the more I, didn't feel bad spending all of my holy shit, I've got 3 kids and a teacher salary, uh, extra money on comics. So when the distribution of new books stopped, being able to order some specific things from the shop has been a little difficult because Jason doesn't have a big online ordering system. The only thing I can do is, look for things to add to my pull list. And then if I want something specific, he'll send it to me. And that's great for me, the rest of the time of the year when the shop's open, because if there's something I want to look for, I can go, mosey around the shop for an hour. But during these times, when I'm spending random money on eBay, chasing down specific things, I still feel bad that I'm buying stuff from other places and not my local shop. So when I wanted to order some things from Jason at the end of last week, there were 3 things in particular that I knew I was looking for. And beyond that, I knew I had money that I wanted to spend on some books, and I said, here's how much money I have. Put the items that I would like to, the 3 specific things that I'm looking for at the top of the list, and then if you don't have those, fill in. So he sent me PayPal invoice, and I paid him. He told me that he had 2 of the 3 things that I was looking for, and then when the PayPal invoice popped in my inbox, I just saw the amount and paid it, and I tried my damnedest to not look at what he was sending because I wanted a surprise, and I wanted to see how well he knows me, since, any other random recommendation or books that we've talked about, I think he's never really led me down a path of bad books. So this lets me trust him without having to, have a conversation with him before I decide to buy something or not. So first thing that I got is the Giant Size X-Men Nightcrawler book, because I missed adding that to my pull before the shop shut down. And then this, I'm not going to turn around and show you. The second thing I explicitly was looking for was something I knew he had sitting in the shop, that when I do my next follower benchmark giveaway, I'll reveal what the prize is. So a little suspense there. So the rest of what he sent me are some trades. So we'll see if there are things that really, really excite me. And the first one in the stack that I'll pull out off to the side, because it's the third thing that I had asked for. I started reading some of the Flash that I started with the Flash Forward 6-issue run, and I decided it was interesting enough, so I started picking up the Flash at, 748, 49, right before 750 came out, and I've read the new arc, and everybody says that to understand a lot of what's going on, you should jump back to Flashpoint as one of these big, canon-based moments that changes what is going on in the Flash universe and large parts of the DC universe for a long time. So, as I've made promises to some of the folks that I chat with a lot who enjoy DC more than Marvel, this is me trying to dive into another storyline that I enjoyed, and a lot of the same people who recommended Flashpoint to me are the same folks that told me to read Snyder and Capullo's run on Batman, which I finished yesterday and have a post nearly done. But Jesus Christ, that run was amazing. All right, so other things that he sent me that I don't know what's in here, so we'll see. First up is Reaver, which is by Justin Jordan, Rebecca Isaacs, and Alex Kamaris. Don't see the publisher. This is, it's an Image book. It's a collection of the first 6 books, and it looks to be fantasy-esque, kind of flipping through it. I've enjoyed some of the more fantasy-driven titles. I really enjoyed reading the first 2 trades of Die that have come out. I'm a big fan of takes on the Arthurian legend. I really like Cullen Bunn's and a Holy Grail. I really enjoyed what's the other one that I'm reading? Once and Future. That I like kind of the play with fantasy, and as someone who dabbles in World of Warcraft on and off, it looks like playing with a cluster of people fighting the darkness of the world that I should enjoy. Ooh, this is a book that I've looked around and never picked up. It looks like the first introduction to Old Man Logan. I enjoy Wolverine. I like Ben Percy's. It is Percy on the new Wolverine? Yeah. Ben Percy's new work on Wolverine. Wolverine has always been one of my longtime, favorite characters. I'm working on seeing if I can get a Venomized Wolverine Funko Pop, since I've got a Venomized X-23. But this is something that I'm excited to hop into and look at. Another DC collection that I only know of Superman Red Sun because I know the cartoon has just been released on streaming platforms for sale that's not DC Universe, which if there are any of y'all who have seen Superman Red Sun and you're like, damn it, you should pay for it and not wait for it to come to streaming, then let me know and I'll check it out. But I do know the premise of this is what would happen if Superman landed in the Soviet Union. So I've got, a Marvel title, a DC title, and then an indie title to kind of time me over. And then the last item that Jason sent me, I'm very, very excited about. I know that Jason is a huge, huge, huge Punisher fan, that when we've talked about characters that we absolutely love, he loves the Punisher in the same way that I'm obsessed with Namor and the Submariner. I thought Garth Ennis's run on the most recent 6-issue Punisher story that he did, Punisher Soviet, was just fucking fantastic. In the same vein of toys, I have a lovely bendable Frank Castle action figure from, I think these came out in like 1991, that I'm a big fan of and play with. And it's very, very telling that this is kind of Jason's chef's kiss from the bottom of the stack. More Ennis Punisher, and it's Punisher Born. So this is, I think, is this the intro storyline of Castle fighting in the war? I think this is something that I'm loosely familiar with from reading, Punisher books off and on throughout my teenage and adult life. But I'm very excited for this, and I can already tell that, in my next order to Jason, since at least in Kansas, the governor has extended the stay-at-home order until May 3rd, that, I think my birthday present to myself in 2 weeks will be to email Jason and say, give me an obscene amount of Punisher trades, or if there are, additional books of Old Man Logan or Reaver for me to hop into. But I think, if you have a local comic shop that, you support during the rest of the year, that they supply you with your vice that helps you get through the mendacity of your daily life, uh this time is hard for them, right? Not just in a, there's no new product coming out, but I know that, especially with the news breaking today, that the bailout fund for small businesses is already tapped. I know that there are a large number of businesses that are either too small to qualify based on their number of employees, or their applications weren't processed before the money ran out. So, if you want to make sure that your local comic book shop is still around after all of this quarantining, right? I by no means am on the camp that believes that this era is going to lead to the death of comics, but I think the scariest thing for people who are either attempting to survive in the industry, or especially the people who supply to us, I think a lot of our local shops are terrified, um, because they're losing revenue streams. So if you have, a local shop that can't legally open its doors to walk through traffic, but they're still available to do some kind of shipping, or some kind of arrangement, text, email, Facebook message, tweet at the folks from your store and see if they'll do something to send you a little care package, right? Because if the folks at your shop know you, as well as Jason knows me, you'll get an awesome collection put together. And I think, this is the way that you can ensure that when all of this madness is done, you've got a shop that you can walk into and physically, see someone and talk to that person again. But this was an awesome cluster of things to send to me, Jason. Thank you so very much. I think, from what I know, surface level of most of these titles, I think you've nailed it. And I'll let you know when I get done, and in a couple of days have to start itching myself, as I hit trade detox and go, Jason, can you hook me up again? But yeah, I think, see if there's anything that you can do to financially support your LCS. And one of the things that I tweeted out the other day was, you know, uh, in terms of me trying to buy things, that I've been seeking out specifically, I've looked at people I know in terms of talking about their local comic book shop. And I think, you know, follow Chops Comics on Twitter, follow them on Facebook. And if there's something that you want, email or send a message on their social media and tell Jason that I sent you his way, and that you should get some kind of lovely little, you know, care package that he'll ship it real well. That, I've not felt like I've ever gotten a raw deal, and everything that he gives me, or I buy from him is the highest quality. So, in the same way that I'm offering you all, to help buy small things here or there from your store, so you've got something to turn to when all of this is done, send an email to my guy. You saw what he sent me with very minimal instructions. So if you're afraid of getting random shit or shit you might already own, let him know what kind of stuff you're into, and he'll kind of help divine things for you. And Jason, if you see this, and you think I'm writing a bigger description, or a check that your comic finding abilities can't cash, then I'll apologize, and you can harass me when we finally get to see each other and do the podcast face to face. You can, I don't know, make me alphabetically arrange your dollar comic bin. You can whoop the piss out of me if I'm making promises that you can't keep up with. But Jason is my superhero. His shop is awesome, and I think I wanted to do another little thank you video. I wanted to show you the cool things that he sent me from knowing me for less than a year, and send your store a budget. Help them stay alive in this time of need, so we can see each other again when we make it all out. And as Mr. Springer always says when he ends our podcast, I'll see you on the flip side.